Yeah, I'm cool.
This is a fucking great one.
Will we get
And
you
it's it's funny that it was Vault because it's actually we started watching.
2001?
Well, we were watching this because it was a remake originally.
Was it?
Yeah, you sent me a remake list. Like, hey, go through this.
Oh, is this a remake of the stage show? Is that where you were going with it?
Yeah. Well, no, that's what it is. So that site that you sent me to look it up, that had this down. And I'm like, wait, this was a remake, and that's when I found out that it was a remake of a Korean stage play. What's that?
I clicked the wrong button. I was wondering. I thought you just suggested it randomly because
Nope. I went through that list. I saw that. I'm like, that's fucking hilarious. So yeah.
So we're looking at the happiness of the Katakuri. The Katakuri family has only opened their guest house. Regrettably, their guest commits suicide, and so as to prevent trouble, they decide to bury him.
As one does.
As you do, yep. Matters become more complicated when their sumo wrestler guest dies while having sex with his girlfriend, and the group behind their home starts to fill up with more.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And this movie, it starts off just, it tells you exactly what it's going to be from the beginning. It's an opening shot of a lady eating soup. She stabs like a cherub type thing, and then it turns into a claymation fight scene where her uvula gets stolen. So it's great.
I love the claymation and the stop animation motion sort of thought through this. It's so random, but it works.
Oh yeah.
What I wasn't prepared for were the musical numbers.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. It's a musical.
For those. Honestly, I'm like, what?
Well, the best part too is that it doesn't ease into it at all. It just like full blown over the top dancing and all that shit right out of the gate. Just like, what the fuck did I want? Like turn on?
It's almost like a parody of Bollywood or something. I feel like they're playing about, like you can see them making fun of the sound of music and like traditional musicals and Bollywood and the claymation. It's like something Phil Tippett would come out with. You know, it's like there's work has went into it. It's not just thrown on there for the sake of it.
Yeah.
There's one Chris and I are covering tomorrow, and honestly, they did not give a shit. It just screams at you that they didn't care.
That sucks.
That's going to be a fun one. But yeah, we've got this sort of dysfunctional family, 3-generation family, you know, old school, everyone lives in the same place, or they're all like in the same, in each other's pockets, so to speak, from grandpa right down to the baby. You've got the son who's a bit of a delinquent. You've got the daughter who's divorced, who's just a mess, young one. The father was sacked from his job. He had this dream of like doing something for himself, which I completely get, you know.
It's like if I could buy a fucking place like that, I'd do it in a heartbeat too.
And he just buys this place. It's just off the beaten track, but they're building a new road to promise. The salesperson, the real estate agent said. And even when they're heading up, they come across a spiritless training exercise trip of an absolute bunch of melts.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, okay, right. This is what's happening.
Well, it's like they set up the fact that it's cursed land. So it's like it's dumb, but they did serve a purpose. And I just love it's nothing. She's scared of the dart as an excuse for them to freak out.
Yeah, it's sort of like how to do a haunted house without actually being a haunted house sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they don't uncover an entity or anything or get the idea that something's working against them. It's just a set of circumstances that are just insane. And it's more their reaction than anything else that makes this brilliant. Oh, God. And then we get the first dinner scene. Yeah, save some tofu for your family.
Oh, I love tofu, man. When it's done right, it's killer.
It's evil.
You just haven't had it done right.
Yeah, the best way is just straight in the bin. Don't pass go. Bypass digestive tract.
Yeah, I will definitely have to agree to disagree. I love me some tofu.
We agree on everything. What are you on about? It's fact, when I used to go to the Asian supermarket, I was always in the same aisle next to the chicken feed, and they always had it like in the slide. And honestly, I thought it was looking at me. That little tubs and the whatever the preservative they have in it, and I always think it was moving about in there. Oh, okay. I don't know. And I hate that sort of vegan stuff. Like people try to force on you. Comes in the packet. It's like cardboard. Oh, this is great. Eat this instead. But anyway, yeah, we're just getting this whole idea. They're trying to make a go at this. Fathers push them all into it. Nobody's playing ball. Everyone's like rebelling. But there's a thing as well. They all sit down back to the scene. They all sit down at the table together. You know, that's something that needs to be brought back. This idea of families all just taking their plates and disappearing and nobody sitting down together. That's why there's loss of unity now. Just talking about their day. That's one thing. Despite their whatever's going on, you see that sort of family unity, and that's what gets them through. But like Poltergeist, that was their. That's what it was all about. Their family unity is what overcame in the end. Yeah, we'll get this storm starts and rain because it's a horror movie. Their first guest, they're like, "We've got a guest."
Yeah, I just love the exclamation anytime anybody comes in. It's like the whole world stands still.
Yeah, if you ever went to one of those places where everyone is so attentive, it's quite freaky. You ever go to that like store where all the staff just jump on you because you're the only customer of the day or something, and it's like, oh god, no.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to anybody. Just shopping.
Came here for stuff. Yeah. But you know this guy isn't right. I don't think we got his full story. He just a set of circumstances, wasn't he?
No, I mean it's the full story. Dude's at the end of his rope, goes somewhere to kill himself.
Yeah, but we didn't get why, or I think just more.
Well, I mean, if you've ever lived it all, you kind of understand why.
But the elaborate way he decides to use the key, the keychain.
Yeah, it's a hell of a way to go out. Especially when he has a box cutter that he clearly was bringing it to you.
But he decides to do this instead.
Yeah, far more traumatic. Plus, I mean, that's the initial catalyst. Like, other than the fact that somebody died in their bed and breakfast, like, this doesn't look like a suicide. This looks like a murder. How the hell are we going to explain that?
The fact that they pulled out of his neck and they're like waving about, and then the mother takes off and puts it back in again.
Yeah, it's great.
You're just like, all right, this is where this is going. Okay, right. Get you.
Yeah.
They're not worried like, oh, what if other guests find out that this happened? They'll not come here. So let's bury the body.
Again, reasonable, and as you do.
And it starts off like, we don't get the full horror of where they're living until later on. You know what I mean? Because they go and find a plot and you see a wee bit of debris about. You don't get the full scope until later on. But yeah, they bury the body. But what's this business of using plastic, wrapping the body in plastic and then burying it?
That's easy way to transport them.
Yeah, but you take it out of the plastic when you bury it. That's going to preserve for ages.
I mean, it could also speed up the decaying process because of the heat and stuff getting trapped in there.
But I need to look into more. My thought would be remove the body from the plastic as you dump it in the hole, plant a big tree on top of it. You start seeing these mounds about it. It's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
That's one of the best things actually in a TV show was Hannibal. Mushrooms. I've never been able to look at mushrooms the same way, and I just thought, cool, that's clever.
Yeah, that's a show I really need to finish. It got pulled from my area after the first season.
Yeah, I could never look at mushrooms the same way. I just thought that's bloody clever. That's been thought. That's been thought out. Yeah. But also this guy, I've never seen CGI snot before.
It was miraculous, right?
I just looked at it and went, what? Really?
Yeah, but at this point, I feel like you should be accepting of that or used to that because I mean, right before this, we get the family watching TV and that really bad CG fly going up his nose.
Oh yeah, then it wouldn't come out.
Yeah, it's like at that point you kind of have to accept. Well, especially the fact
I wasn't against it. It's one of those things of that's what you put your effort into.
Fuck yeah.
I'm like, okay.
That's the cherry on top.
Yeah, it was glorious. I'm just like, wow. That's a bit. There's no digital blood in this, thankfully, so you know that they're doing it almost. It's almost like a joke. You know, the joke in itself is the effect.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's so goofy, it's so over the top, but anytime there's any sort of makeup or blood, like it's like perfect.
Yeah. But yeah, they'll go into the Bollywood scene, sort of the first dance routine, and that's it. I'm just like, God, what the hell is this? This is something else. Oh man. Then we meet, God, I forget her name, but the daughter is going into town, and we meet Robert.
Yeah. Robert. Yeah.
Oh, dear. Yeah. What can we say about him? Like, calm man. Like, you just, if nobody twigs on, he's a calm man. I don't know what to tell you. I've a bridge to tell you.
Pretty much.
Yeah. What is it? He's a secret agent.
He flies for the British Navy, but it's the American Navy. And he's also
No, was it not the American Air Force, but for the Royal Navy?
I don't fucking remember. Something like that. I just watched it last night, so of course you think I remember, but I don't.
Yeah.
And then he's also related to the British royal
Princess
family.
Margaret of Snowdon's son, apparently. And you're like,
yeah.
No. Which is Queen Elizabeth's younger sister, by the way. But yeah, if someone starts telling you all these whoppers like within the first 5 minutes, you have to go, right, okay.
Well, and that's the funny part, is just shows how desperate the daughter is to get in another relationship.
That's not healthy.
No.
That's needing to be with someone. Just always, what's you say to your daughter? Do you want a new daddy? Like, that's how
yeah.
That's how
And
you pick
that
it in
was
kid's head.
best response too. Just continues sitting there eating her sundae.
Almost as if it's like a Tuesday nerd. Oh, here we go again.
Mm.
I suppose that's the good thing about having the extended family, the core family, if that makes sense. Because the daughter has her stability. And she's the narrator for this, which is interesting as well, because it's all come from her perspective, as in she's retelling this after years. But we don't really get to, I don't know, I'm trying to think. It's supposed to be from her perspective, but she really is a bit character in this. She's not the main character.
Well, I mean, if it's from her perspective, that would make sense. It's almost like a POV shot where she's watching what's going on and we're watching with her.
And maybe that would explain the... Actually, that makes sense. The claymation stuff, this is her trying to process what's going on in the song and stuff, like all the adult stuff. Never thought about it that way. So when they're getting into song and dancing, goes into stuff, this is her, when they're telling her to close her eyes and stuff, and they're talking about stuff she doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Or am I trying to make it more sensible than what it is? And not just appreciating it at face value?
I mean, I've never thought of it that way, and I've usually watched this like once a year.
Yeah, just thinking, because it's narrated, it's partly narrated, and it's supposed to be her, the young one, years later, telling this story of this sequence of events. But her character in this it's not treated like a central focal point. No, I mean, she's just another character. Every character gets their turn, and it's just the circumstances that happen. So it's not even really a POV, because we don't get that sort of idea behind it.
True.
I'm trying to think, that's what, like the boy with the striped pajamas, for example, that's I would class that as a POV movie, because purely come from the kid's perspective. I'm trying to think of another one where it's really obvious, who's telling the story. The Lovely Bones, I would consider that a POV sort of movie, because she's narrating the experience and it's coming through her sort of lens. This, I just think she just happens to be the narrator, but it's not really, I don't think it would have worked if they had made it purely from the kid's perspective. Don't know, just then we'll get the sumo wrestler. That was great.
Yeah, man, that whole scene, just as soon as they start walking up the road, it's like, oh, this isn't going to end well for either of them.
Yeah,
they're just too happy.
That's always the thing, isn't it? The brighter the sun shines, the happier they are. It's going to crash and burn. But Masayaka is not just a delinquent, but he's a peeping Tom as well. And you're just like, what the hell, dude? Really?
I mean, fuck, what the hell else are you going to do out there?
I suppose there's that, but it's like, I don't think you've lived a sheltered life, mate. What the hell? Is this really...
Right.
If he was like 14 or something, was still a virgin, I would get it. But yeah, I suppose it was funny. But yeah, the fact to start going at it straight away for like 24 hours straight.
Right. Yeah. No wonder the dude died.
Yeah. So they try to wake him up for breakfast, basically, and go in the room to see him dead.
Well, the best part is like they keep hearing it.
Yeah.
And then there's a loud thud, and then that's when the cop shows up, right? Asking about guests. Or is that the next day?
No, they haven't. No, because they've already got rid of him before the cop doesn't show up. Yeah, until between them and the next one. So they're already like 3 bodies down by the time the cop shows up. So they're really, the paranoia setting in at that point.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's what they're really leaning into. Oh shit, this isn't good. But yeah, they find him. He's died, and they keep going. Where's the girl? Where's the girl? And I didn't think.
Yeah, she must have run away.
Yeah, I didn't think. It actually caught me by surprise the way they did it.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
And I'm just like, because you don't see a leg or arm or anything.
Nope.
He's actually pressed her into the mattress. The makeup they had for her was brilliant as well. The makeup they're doing this is fantastic.
Oh yeah,
that was like straight out of the ring.
Yeah,
like
pretty much.
Expression and everything.
Yeah, I mean that's the greatest part is like when this movie leans into the horror stuff, it is pure horror.
I think you needed that too, because that sort of balances out the comedy aspect and still brings the stakes that this ain't a good thing. Because if they had done it like too goofy with everything, you would kind of switch off from us. But the fact is, like I did jump a wee bit and go, whoa, when they roll them off and find her underneath, like actually pressed into the mattress. Like how that's physically possible, I don't know, but still made you go, whoa. And then the makeup and everything else and their expression was just perfect. So now they're having to expand out. And this is where we're starting to see the whole back area, that it's just a junk pile and it's a swamp and it's horrible. It's almost like a toxic landfill or something.
Yeah, which is great because we all see it, but the dumbass, Richard does not.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Because he appears next, doesn't he? Yeah. He's next one to come because, yeah, he's like coming up. He decides to take a drink from the stream.
And it's just full of like dead bodies of animals and shit.
Because you wouldn't smell that at all.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't go past that and go, whoa. Like I'm surprised that doesn't even permeate up to the house. Like you would in a bad breeze. Like I used to live near my when I was back in Belfast. I used to live near the River Lagan. I went to school up there, and on a sunny day or when the wind caught the right way, I mean, the smell of that thing just took over everything. And that was a flowing river. So you think of an absolute cesspit. Yeah, you're going to smell that thing. But it just slowly get more revealed the fact that cursed land, basically. I think that's what the whole theme is.
Oh yeah,
they're trying to, not a good place for them to be. God. Yeah. Richard turns up, and I just got the feeling he's the one's going to get done for this. I wasn't right, but I just got the feeling, okay, this is how they're going to wrap this up in a nice little bow. Is he's going to be the one that, especially when he finds a wallet.
Yeah, right. That's kind of where it sends you.
Yeah, that was a great misdirect though, because I was like, okay, right, I know where I'm going with this, and it's all nice, neatly in a little bow, and then 2 scenes later, you're like, what? And then that's when the police officer turns up, and then we find out that Richard is an escaped convict or something, or he's wanted.
Well, that we find that out at the very beginning of the movie, like before they get a guest, when the cop first shows up, because he leaves a wanted poster.
Oh, is that not afterwards? Did I mix it up?
No, that's the very beginning of the movie.
Oh, right, God, I thought...
So the cop visits more than once.
Yeah,
like,
I thought it was
comes
like
up like 3
he starts first. I missed the first part, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's towards the beginning of the movie, and that's where we see the picture of this big poster, and then it's
all the wanted people.
Richard in his uniform.
It was like a movie poster the way it was done. It was very like whoever's working in that police department's wasted.
Right.
That's what they're spending their talent on. They should be signing up for the nearest marketing agency. They're all their poses.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, sorry, I thought it was after. It was sort of about this point.
No. That's very, very beginning.
Yeah, because they introduce themselves and they're all like welcome and stuff. And then when he turns up again, this is where the paranoia is really set. Oh my God, yeah, they're all starting to fall apart. Because they're not they're not bad people.
No, it's just this is the dad's only chance, and he even has that breakdown at one point. I think it's after the first discovery, where he's talked about like, if I don't have this, I don't know what else I have. So you understand like the desperation.
Yeah, and then the wife, Terry, God, she is gorgeous. Like, she hides it well in all the housewife gear, but when they do the dance scene in that black dress, I'm like, wow. Like, was she born 1954 or something? No hint of plastic. Funny, if you look after yourself, you don't need plastic surgery, eh?
Right. such a novel thing.
Yeah, but yeah, at that point, she just won me over. I'm like, couldn't have got her the same way the rest of the movie. That was it. It was like a karaoke. It's like they're doing a karaoke bar, but taking it to the next level.
Yeah.
Because I really do love the musical scenes. I know they took me by surprise, but when you get into it, oh my God, they're brilliant. They're so well choreographed. And they put a lot of pop stars to shame. Like these guys singing as a joke would actually put a lot of professional, musicians and singers to shame, because they've actually got range.
Right.
And then we see Robert. He's sort of building up. He's working on a scam, but it shows how thick the daughter is, because he's going about with his cruise jacket, because that's what it's more like a flipping cabin cruise. Crew jacket, I think, with tracksuit bottoms, and you're like, really?
Yeah, the next day, yeah,
sort of like, yeah. They must have run out of
well, I mean, he had to wear those instead. Like, he destroyed his pants the night before.
Yeah, but they must have run out of spare clothes, because they were able to offer spare clothes to the first guest who got soaked. But if this is the love of her life, they can't offer him a spare shirt or something. I suppose it wouldn't work with the character, if that makes sense, but still funny. But yeah, of course, he's working up for the scam. The old, can you lend me the airfare till I go back and pick up my millions and bring them back to you?
Yeah,
that's a funny thing as well. Anyone to understand the royal family is they're not actually rich. Everything they have is on loan. They don't actually own anything. It's all owned by the crown, the entity of the crown. But their actual personal fortune, they don't really have. Like, there's celebrities running about more money, actual, spendable income. If you look at all their fashion and everything else, it's all done on loan. Like the fashion brands and stuff will have them wear something for an occasion, but that's so they can promote their brand. It's all strange. I think what's her face, that silly bitch, found out very quickly that the ginger one didn't have actually any money. His ones, but yeah, I don't understand people like him. I know he's a comedy character in this, but they do exist, and we've probably met one or two of them along the way in our lives.
Oh yeah, everybody has,
and they don't have any shame whatsoever. Like, that part of their brain it doesn't work. It's not engaging, and he will do that to her and literally bounce on to the next one, or work on someone at the same time and not even think twice. I've always been fascinated, because I don't know, I couldn't do that. I'd feel bad.
Yeah, same.
I'd feel worthless. I'd rather have nothing. it's not that important to me to be that sort of person.
Mm.
I just don't get. It's like an alien creature, if that makes sense. That Robert character, it's like an alien. It's like I don't see another human being. I see some strange entity that I don't understand and will never understand.
Mhm.
Just weird. But when Grandpa was watching and finds out what he does, that whole scene with the plug away and the bonk sound,
Yeah, I love how just
it had to
proficient
be
he is
that.
with that wood.
It had to make that sound. If it had made anything else, it wouldn't have worked.
Hmm.
Like that sound was perfect. Just
Definitely.
bonk through it on his head, bonk straight up. And then it goes into a claymation again for the cliff scene. Like all of a
Mhm.
sudden, there's now a cliff. Like where'd that come from?
Oh well, I mean, it's been there the whole time. It's just you didn't turn around and look at it. Duh.
All right, okay.
Yeah, I love that shit where they're starting to fight and then you realize it's gonna get real, so it turns into claymation. So
Yeah, and this I can't speak highly enough as enough. It's done so well.
mhm.
It's proper. Somebody's put care and craftsmanship into it and actually want it to be as good as possible. That it's as engaging as a live action.
Oh yeah.
And that's when you know you're dealing with a serious entity. I think there's sometimes more effort put into silly movies than the ones that try to take themselves, to be like dramas.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like good comedy, like there's nothing worse than bad comedy or lazy comedy that doesn't, relies on just crudeness for the sake of it and stuff and just doesn't work. It's just you just feel like nobody gives a shit. But something like this, that's somebody spent hours, days, for that one scene to make it right.
Yeah.
Then we'll have this family turn up, and it's
Yeah.
like 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yeah. I hadn't thought of that. But yeah, that shit was just so funny because everybody's on edge. Like everybody's like, "Oh my god, what kind of shit
we're
are they
seeing
gonna
the
do?"
breakdown of the family as well. It's going along with it, and it's done so perfectly. The pace in this is brilliant. Like this is what is it, like nearly 2 hours long?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's 1 hour 50 or something. Like it's nearly 2 hours long. It's but you're not feeling tired. That's one of them things. Some movies you're like, oh come on, we get to the point already. This is just you go on the journey. But yeah, this family turns out in the wee girl's playing the recorder. Awful horror. I don't know if you ever had to play one of them at school.
Yeah. It's it's rare that you can make those actually sound good.
They're horrendous. Yeah, and they're just like the coming of the apocalypse.
When I love when they're finally going up to the room and the wife turns around and she's like, "Do you have any cord? I need some heavy cord." And immediately the family's like, "Cord?" Like they'll do the same thing, like they're getting choked out. It's just like the whole time you're like, "Fuck, this is gonna be a gnarly cleanup they have to make."
Yeah, but they survive, and the cords for the wee kids' trousers.
Well, that's the funny thing is how we find out that they survive because the grandpa and Miyasuki. No, not Richard. So we're already past the Richard or the Richard point. So like basically they were preemptively digging up the holes to put the entire family in because everybody was under the impression that they were going to die.
Yeah.
And then they finally finish, they get out of the hole and they just hear recorder music coming from afar. So like they're both freaking out thinking that it's like a ghost or some shit that they're bringing the bodies down. And then no, it's just the family. They're like, "Oh, thank you." And then it's revealed that the wife wanted the heavy cord because the boy needed a belt.
Yeah, and what's the big hole for? Nothing. And then we get the news that the highway that's coming is going to go right through where all the bodies are built. And now they're going to have to dig up the bodies and move them. And you're just like, it just descends into chaos. What I was not expecting is how this all got wrapped up.
It is a very abrupt.
Yeah, it's like, where's this other guest? I thought Richard was going to be the linchpin that tied all this up. But no, we just get some other random guest that killed his wife and he's now working 3 guest houses apparently on a rampage. And you're like, okay, right, that's where we're going.
Yeah, and it gets super serious too. Like pretty much all the humor that's been a constant throughout this is just out the window.
Yeah, because that's where Papa and he basically takes her hostage, and he's like, he just breaks down like, no, anything but that. I don't care about anything. Don't harm my wife. That's it. I think he said, "Please, I beg you," about 9 times or something. Like it was. You sort of left the comedy bit, and then you started to realize it was getting serious about the 7th or 8th time. It was proper going for it.
Oh yeah.
And it's just so random. Like the turn this took. I'm just thinking, why? I don't know. It's just I got it though. I got the whole idea of the important thing is the family. I mean, they all realize, and then when Sophia gets, oh god, they're having like his deathbed scene.
Yeah, that's so fucking great. Like you feel the emotion And then that's when the comedy comes back, as they, he pulls up the shirt after he's supposedly passed, and it's this big. They're all doing this to him. And it's just like he got grazed.
It's a paper cup.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
And then you're kind of sort of going, right, how are they going to finish this up? Right, what's next? Right, is that it? This guy gets, are they going to blame him in the bodies? Is that how they're going to wrap it up? Mm-hmm. Nah, they just happen to be right next to a volcano.
Well, that got set up at the very beginning of the movie too. That is something where it was when Grandpa was out in the field, right after I believe it was right after he threw that piece of wood at the bird, where it kind of pans out and you see the top of the mountains, and then some smoke go up.
Yeah, just a sort of blink and you miss it sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But still, the fact that it just becomes an active volcano for no reason.
I mean, that's to throw it in usually how it goes.
Yeah, but just the way to wrap this up, just to completely go off, just any expectations you have for this movie goes out the window.
Oh yeah, and that's when the message of the movie is really hammered home, that family is everything, because they all join together to rescue the house.
And it goes back to claymation. I thought it was lava. I didn't really. It's only until it goes back I thought they were doing claymation because it was lava, and I was expecting people to be burnt to a crisp, but it was actually a massive mudslide. Mm-hmm. But what I thought it was going to do was move the guest house right next to the road.
Yeah,
I thought that was going to be the finish. Then it was going to move the guest house right next to the road, so they don't need to worry about the highway. Mm-hmm. And then they're away from the bodies, and that's nothing to do with them. It's all buried now. But no, they're in some sort of valley, and we've got elephants and giraffes and rainbows, and
yeah,
even further away from civilization.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's a magical place to look at. So
yeah,
business is gonna fucking suck, but it's a beautiful place to spend the rest of the time with your family.
No, I really enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun, and it's more. I think it's one of these movies you experience rather than worry about the plot.
Yeah. I mean, it's there. It's definitely there, but yeah.
It follows a logical. You know what I mean? It's not like even with it's following a logical coming up to a conclusion. It's just when they bring it, they just throw these things in. But I think it's the musical numbers, the claymation, the acting. You're more there just the experience. I think I said it to you last night. I could imagine this as a stage show, and it turns out it's a remake from a stage show.
Yep, that was news to me. And then, of course, as soon as I saw that, it's like, well, fuck, that makes perfect sense. Because like you said, it looks like it could be a stage show.
Mm-hmm. You could picture them being set pieces of a stage, and the way they've done everything.
Yeah,
why not? Probably. And then, of course, Grandpa decides to die. Mm-hmm. He decides it's his time. Or no, this is where it gets a bit warly. This is supposed to be a year later or something, or a couple of years, because go back to the wee girl as a narrator, who says Grandpa's time to pass. Mm-hmm. But she was sort of hinting that it was a few years later or something after this is all done. But the way they show it is if it just happens immediately. But yeah, Grandpa deciding to finally pop his clothes and just to finish up. Yeah.
I mean, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. Now I'll have to look into more Takashi Miike stuff.
Yeah, man. Takashi Miike is fucking amazing. Like I said, next one I'd recommend would be Ichi the Killer. Like that's that one is a solid gore fest.
Yeah. Is it the same sort of vein? Is this thing?
No, not even remotely. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like with him, I mean, this dude basically makes like 7 or 8 movies a month. Like he covers all different ranges of the genre.
Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. So J-Horror's version of Jackie Chan then?
Sure.
Oh yeah, he films like 3 movies at once at the same time.
Oh, gotcha.
Shooting. Yeah, he does. He just he's always like, even when he was doing one of his Hollywood things, he's still flying back to Hong Kong because he's got 2 other projects on the go at the same time. Just doesn't stop.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just that level of production. Some people are like that and they can do it. Or I'm slow as hell. It takes me ages just to pen a few words and like, there you go. That was fun. Good job.
Yep. Yeah, definitely fun to go through that list. We'll have to revisit that list again.
We'll have to throw them in because we've sort of been missing out in remakes, haven't we?
What's that?
We've been missing out in remakes.
Oh yeah. I mean, other than Nosferatu, it's about the only thing I can think of as of late.
Yeah, unfortunate timing. Mm-hmm. I was not waiting to now to talk about that.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. That was a very.
If I had known you guys were going to stream that night, I would have joined in as well.
Yeah, didn't quite think about that.
Twice. But there you go, folks. That's it for another month. Until next time, go to the other channel, do a technical thing, and remember to keep it creepy.
Keep it horrific.